In relation to that is EEAT. EEAT is also a holdover from last year, big holdover from last year. That's going to continue to play a very large factor in 2024 and beyond, okay, is EEAT. And for full details on EEAT, you can find it on the Search Quality Raters Guidelines. Okay, this is actually a Google document. There we go. This is a document from Google that they give to the folks they hire to review websites, physically look at and review websites. And this goes over, quality pages, bad quality, lowest quality, spammy web pages, low quality pages, medium quality pages, high quality, highest quality. I mean, all this is understanding search user needs. Look at that right there. Part 2, understanding search user needs. This is their document. How to get your needs met rating guidelines, right? How did they meet the needs of the user? This is a 168-page document, and I don't know if I can do a find on here. Let me see here. I don't think so. Yeah, let's try that. EEAT. There we go. So EEAT is mentioned in the document 116 times. This is the document. If you've not gone through this document before or looked at this document, you need to. If you're a web designer, you're doing SEO, this will tell you exactly what Google wants and is looking for in quality sites, what a site that isn't quality looks like, what are their expectations for a good site, what is bad, what's harmful, and what you should and shouldn't do. This is the blueprint that Google's laid out for everybody that they want to have a quality website. So I highly recommend, you can just do Search Quality Raters Guideline or Google Search Quality Raters Guideline. You'll find it, no problem. But EEAT stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So what do those mean? Well, first, experience, right? Again, when it comes to users, Google and most users value high quality content that's produced by someone who has firsthand life experience on the topic at hand, right? So look, I told you guys I've been doing this thing for like 26 years. I've been teaching it for 16 years. You'd probably expect it to have some value in what I'm saying, right? But if I just started last year, you might not have as much or might not place as much value on it, right? And so Google and users expect that the person that's giving the information is talking to you, whether it be video-based or content-based, have some real-life, first-hand experience with the topic that they're discussing. And these types of content pages are seen as trustworthy. Maybe they've even visited a particular place or have spoken with an experienced person. So like if you, I went to Iceland a few years ago. People ask me all the time, oh, how was Iceland? What'd you do? Well, I have firsthand experience of Iceland, right? I could talk about where I went and what I did and what I saw and how awesome it was. And it wasn't like they read something in a book. They're talking to somebody with real, firsthand experience. And so that can also work for you. If you've experienced something that can be work, or you've spoken to somebody, right? Maybe somebody interviews me and then writes about some of the things I'm talking about. Well, that's experience in essence, right? They've gotten information from somebody that is experienced. And I love it. I always say, as Jimi Hendrix would say, are you experienced? And then perhaps it's just a real world creator of a user of a product or a service, right? So think about how many people get sent stuff to review, right? Because they have a bunch of followers. And so those followers are getting information to review for other people. And so, that's good stuff there. And you don't have to be a super expert to do something, but you can certainly look at something, use it, review it, and say what you like and don't like. You've probably seen reviewers on the web before, maybe on Amazon, you got people do this kind of thing, or other places as well. People review, they unbox and they review it and they show it. That is experience, okay? That could also be considered experience. Expertise is more about who you are and why should I take your word for what you say, right? This goes back to kind of the time you spend on something. Do you have the necessary expertise to create content? You just need to be seen as an expert in your line of business. And you do this by creating great content on an ongoing and regular basis and share it wide and far. Like, who would you rather get information from about personal injury law? Someone that just took the bar exam last month, or someone that's been, fighting for personal injury law for the last 20 years? Probably the person that's, not that I'm saying that the person who's just, passed the bar isn't any good, but somebody with the expertise of years of service is going to be probably a much better, way to go. So that's also good to think about. So authoritativeness is the other part of EAT. You need to show that your site is authoritative or the authority within your industry. So you don't have to be the top guy, in an industry, but are there other sites or authors or one that wants to be like or talks about in your industry? Right? Are there certain places that that you don't even have to like look up? You just go to those sites to find information about that topic. I mean, like if we were talking about, car rental, right? You probably don't have to look up car rental. You could just go to Hertz or Budget or Enterprise, right? Just you don't need they're authoritative in the industry. If you're thinking about like online news, you might go to CNN or you might go to New York Times or whatever, right? Those are authoritative sites in the industry. So find your niche. Who is everybody talking about? Who's ranking above you? They're probably your authority. And the goal is to try to build that authoritativeness by getting people to link to you, by getting people to talk about you, by getting people to share your stuff, by creating great content, basically. And do other websites reference or even link to your site for your content or information? If you got great content, you're writing great blog posts about the kind of information the people that you want at your site need, those people might get, those pieces of information might get linked to by other people that find it. You write great content, people will link to you. And then trustworthiness, the other part of EE, the last part. This is that users and search engines need to know they can trust you and your site to provide secure, reliable, informative content that others appreciate and value. Okay, and it not only this trust doesn't only manifest itself as reviews and feedback about your brand, but also can take on the form of technical or security issues on your website. Because you may have great, let's say you do a search in Google and you find a website that pops up and it's got great reviews and you read the reviews and it looks awesome. And you go, wow, these guys are great. I love what they're saying. And you go to the website and the website doesn't look really good. There's not a whole lot of content on it. You click a link and it's broken, or it takes you to another site and you get a pop-up message saying something. And like all of a sudden that trustworthiness, that kind of, that it just disappears. But you kind of lose it. And you go, I'm not so sure about these guys. And you go back and you go to the next one. So that the idea of technical stuff can be an issue as well. So you want to make sure that you have all of these things: experience, who you are, what you do, or have some experience with the product or service, or have spoken to somebody that has the experience, the expertise in who you are, what you do, what you know, being authoritative, meaning you've got some credibility, you've got some history, you've got some knowledge. And if you're just starting out, like, well, how do I get that? Well, you got to just build it, right? It's like going to the gym. You got to build your muscles up. You start off slow. You can't lift the heavy weights. You got to build slow, and it takes some time. You're not going to jump in and be number one. You're going to have to spend some time trying to build those muscles, so to speak. And then trustworthiness, right? Become trustworthy. Okay.